The OVFM season is officially underway. Fixtures from both the Premier League and the Championship kicked off this week. Our coverage this week focused on 3 headliner games, 2 from the Premier League and 1 from the Championship. Starting off in the Premier League, of course, our first headliner game comes from a battle between 2 iconic cities in the northwest of England as Manchester City take on Liverpool. Both sides are just a handful of sides this season to have already competed in a competitive environment. This season, of course, with Manchester City winning the Community Shield in Leicester and Liverpool winning the Premier League Expedition match against their Merseyside rivals, Everton. Talking first about Manchester City, of course, they look to be many people's choice for winning the league this season, with manager Joel Nordinho not bringing in any players at all into the already well-established Manchester City side, but selling some highly rated players such as Laporte, Grealish and Fernandinho to various other clubs across the Premier League and Championship, has left the City side with less options for the coming season, but with a lot of money to spend in the mid-season window. As for Liverpool, well, United has definitely gone the other way round with a lot of changes to his side. A whopping 13 signings have signed over the off-season for the Reds. Main, though, of course, being Emi Martinez from Aston Villa, Calvin Phillips from Leeds and Kiefer Moore from Cardiff. As a result of this influx of new players, a few key players have also left the Reds, with Liverpool fans scratching their heads with United's recruitment, with Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Alisson and Virgil van Dijk all being the key ones out of the Liverpool side. Many are wondering, what actually is the Reds' target for this season? Is it the traditional hopes of Premier League glory they are used to? With 2 of the main stables going face-to-face, it's bound to be a good showcase to kick off the season. However, I think City's strength will outweigh Liverpool's unknown abilities. The score prediction there, Manchester City 2, Liverpool 1. The next headliner game is a battle of West and North as West London and North London clash, with Arsenal taking on Chelsea. Both sides have, of course, history within OVFM. Arsenal, of course, winning the Season 3 Championship Division, the Season 4 FA Cup, and, of course, are the defending Premier League champions thanks to castaway games way back when. Chelsea, on the other hand, have only 1 trophy and many disappointing league finishes, including a lowly 18th place way back in Season 4. So both sides have definitely a different reason to get their season going with a win. The Gunners have been quiet in the transfer window, with only 1 player leaving the North London outfit, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, leaving to fellow London club Brentford. This leaves Gabriel Martinelli as the sole option on the left wing. The main threat for Arsenal is expected to come from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who unsurprisingly was one of the 2 players manager Spoontan decided to release clause protect to prevent him being paid for outright in the window just gone. As for the Blues, they too have had a quiet window, only 2 players making way from West London to East London as Malang Sang and Ross Barkley join Millwall for a combined fee of $12 million. This left the Blues slightly better invested for the mid-season window in the coming weeks, of course. And like Arsenal, their main threat expected to be the big man up front, Romelu Lukaku, who's definitely going to be a handful for a lot of clubs throughout the season. With a London derby, they're always tricky to predict. However, I think this will go in the way of the Blues. Final score, Chelsea 3, Arsenal 1. On to our third and final headliner game for the week, which may have left many of the new people to OVFM wondering why we have put this game on as a headliner. To the naked eye, Fulham versus West Brom seems like your typical Championship fixture. However, when the team draw came out just 2 weeks ago, we were not expecting to see both Mikey, multiple-time league winner, and Jolly, who took Birmingham from mid-table mediocrity to the Champions League final of the very next season, to be both in the Championship. These 2 really are no laughing matter. Well, let's first look at the teams themselves, of course, starting with Fulham, who have made numerous changes over the transfer window. 7 players joining the West London outfit. The key players including Jolly's former Birmingham talent Scott Sinclair, James Milner from Liverpool, and long-serving East London and now to West London, Mark Noble in from the West Ham outfit. Despite the fact the Cottagers have never won anything in OVFM history, optimism will be high with Jolly at the wheel for the coming season. As for the Baggies, well, we already have a taste of what they can do this season, of course, beating Peterborough by 5-1 just a few days ago in the Championship Expedition match. As for new rivals in West Bromwich, well, they've made 2 acquisitions, with Juan Mata coming for the very low price of just £5 million and Iosi Perez to really bolster their attacks coming down the left and right-hand flanks. Like the Cottagers, the Baggies have never really celebrated true success in OVFM with only a handful of mid-table finishes in the Championship in the previous seasons. I think this will be a close affair between 2 talented managers. However, I think we will see a winner in a game like this. Final score, West Brom 3, Birmingham 2. As you can see, we're now looking at the first half of fixtures this week in the Premier League. So other games to watch out, of course, Chelsea, mentioned before, they've got West Ham in their second game, so that'll be a tough test for them. Tottenham, they've got a tough game against Aston Villa, of course. Aston Villa have bolstered their side with a lot of signings from Liverpool. Leicester City, Watford will be one to watch out for, of course. Can Leicester bounce back after that Community Shield loss? Everton, Norwich as well is probably another one to look out for. And of course, Leeds, who've now got Mo Salah, who are away to Crystal Palace. It'll be interesting to see all of them games, of course. Now let's look at the second half of the fixtures as well. As you can see, so we already talked about Arsenal against Chelsea. Aston Villa against Leicester is bound to be a good tie between the two. Let's see what Newcastle can do this season. I haven't really mentioned them at all so far. They go away to Manchester City, of course, in their second game for the week. Leeds United host Tottenham as well. That'll be another one to keep your eye on. So now let's cross over and look at the Championship fixtures for the coming week as well. So, in the first half of the Championship, well, Barnsley take on Middlesbrough, Blackpool, Birmingham. Peterborough hope to bounce back after that. Of course, Championship Expedition lost. They go away to Blackpool. Bristol City take on Bournemouth. Coventry City take on Queen's Park Rangers. Huddersfield take on Forest. Hull City take on Reading. Luton Town have got a tough game against Preston North End. Millwall, of course, who have brought two players in from Chelsea in the previous headliner match. They host Stoke in their first game of the season. Sheffield United, they've got Cardiff City. Swansea City take on Derby County. And finally, of course, our headliner game for the week, West Bromwich Albion versus Fulham in the Championship. In the second half of fixtures in the Championship this week, Barnsley take on Bournemouth, Birmingham City take on Preston North End, Blackburn host Nottingham Forest, Blackpool host Reading. Derby County are at home to Bristol City, Hull City host Luton Town, Millwall take on Fulham in an all-London clash, Peterborough United host Huddersfield Town, Queen's Park Rangers host Stoke City. The Blade, Sheffield United host Middlesbrough. Swansea City take on Coventry City. And fellow Welsh side Cardiff are away to West Bromwich Albion. Well, that just about wraps up our preview of Game Week 1, of course. Join us next week, of course, when we'll take you through all of what happened in Game Week 1 and give you a sneak preview of Game Week 2. Keep, of course, on tabs with our social media, of course, at OVFM Report to keep up to date every single day with what's happening in the world of OVFM as and when we receive it. Well, my name has been Jack London, and that was the OVFM Report of Game Week 1.